Hi everybody, today in the studio, the Pittsburgh Artist Studio with me, Mary. I am going to be painting on a piece of wood. I did a little sanding on the wood so it would be smoother. We are going to paint something for the guys this time. It's going to be a vehicle, a car. And I think we're going to have a good time with this, at least I'm hoping. Have a little issue here. The thing moved a little bit, but I will definitely have this tracing on the website where I have my traceables, and that information will be below. Hope you all are doing well. We had some severe winds here today, and it was really weird. I've never had that experience before, but it certainly didn't help if you wanted to sleep, and it just was pretty bad. So yeah, so anyways, so we're gonna get started here. We're going to get our paints ready. I have to get some of those out. We're going to be using a red, black, some silver, raw sienna, and titanium white. So without further ado, we'll start. This painting probably will take a few hours to do. It's just one of those kinds of things that we're going to be, having to work on a little bit longer. So let me get my paints together, and we'll paint this car so the guys can follow this. Maybe they'll want to do this. Or maybe some of the ladies out there would like to give this as a gift to their husbands or boyfriends or significant others. So hopefully this will all work out for all of us. And I'll be back in a few. Right, so we are going to start out with raw sienna. I have the basics raw sienna, and we are going to also use the titanium white, which is a basics as well. We're going to use that. So I'm going to put that out on my palette. And I'm going to use my 1/4-inch brush. It's a number 6. It's kind of that one that I always have been using recently. Seem to like that. Now what we're going to do is mix 1 part of the raw sienna with 1 part of the titanium white. We're going to get a very nice light brown. Kind of looks like this, if you can see that. And we're going to start to paint that. What we're going to do, we're just painting around the car because I want to keep some of this wood showing. So let's just kind of go this way. We'll go this way. Kind of dry brush a little bit, just kind of make this look real woodsy looking. Like vintage kind of thing. Okay, we need a little bit more. We want to get this inside here. So it goes on here pretty nicely. It almost looks like dry brushing because the wood. Now I did sand this wood. This is probably something you want to get like in a 16 by 20, only because you want this to be big enough for the vehicle to fit, so we want that. You just want to go like horizontal, vertical in all these little areas here. Just kind of getting that nice raw sienna and white. And it picks up on certain parts of this, which is kind of neat. I got a couple replies that some people would like to see landscapes and possibly a waterfall. So my next painting I want to do is a lion. I plan on doing that, and then we'll start to work on some of these other things that people are looking forward to see. All fun, all fun. I'll put a little white in here, just get some white. Now I also want to get some metallic silver in here, and I have the DecoArt metallic, and it's silver, and I want to get some of that out on my palette too. Well, probably I won't be able to pour this out like I would like to, but and it does definitely need stirred up. So I'm going to get my little palette knife and stir this up a bit. Sometimes it just gets a little separation, and that's just some of the liquids and polymers that are in these things. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get some in. I'd like to put some right in through here. Just kind of giving it a little bit of a excitement here. Like I said, try to get some of your lines going down, across, get a little white here. Kind of neat, looks neat mixed up with that. Oh, kind of like an abstract look here that we're looking at. Put some over here. Get a little white over here also. Get some of my umber. It really looks cool. I like it. Get some more of that silver. Don't need a lot. And we don't want to go too much in, like I said, we don't want to cover up the wood. We want some of that showing through. So you just don't want to you don't want to overdo it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good right now for the background for now. Let's see here. We want to rinse the brush. Very nicely done. I'm going to rinse my brush, and then, because that metallic will stick to the brush a little bit more. Okay, and we're going to start to work on the car. Now, everything in the car is red, so we're going to make all the car red. We're going to use this flat brush, and we might have to water down our red. And ooh, that came out pretty good. This is Cad Red Deep Hue in Basics. So what I'm going to do is use my liquid glazing medium. put some of that out, mix that with the red, just so that I can get a smoother look on this. You know, we want to make sure we get everything covered in pretty good. So, and I'm still using the same brush, just coloring it in here, painting it in. The nice thing about this pattern is that there's only a few colors being used. So, kind of nice. Now, we also want to, I guess we have to transfer the rest of this in. I transferred everything in. So what we're going to do, I'm going to paint all this in. We might be able to see through some of this too. I'm just going to paint it all in with red. And then we're going to trace over it again. Making sure that all the crevices in this particular part are filled in. We want this to be nice and smooth. So, the outline is here. Now you want to probably use an older brush for this, because with the surface, this surface is going to ruin a little bit of your brush, that's for sure. I think just go like that. Now the nice thing about this, I got this board at Hobby Lobby, and it already has a hanging string on it, which makes it kind of nice. Because I don't have to worry about trying to get a hanger on it. All this gets painted in. Even this spot down here, it's like the shadow of the vehicle. This gets painted as well with the red. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to speed this section up so that we can save a little time. And I will be back after I have everything all traced in. I won't be speaking through this portion anyways. Alright, so we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back to it, but I'm going to go into my raw umber and mix a little bit more, because I want to kind of get this filled in a little bit more. I kind of went out of the lines a little, so I want to fix this. Just kind of giving a little bit more color here. Kind of just dry brushing over that a little. Okay. All right, so we'll wait till this dries and we'll be back. All right, so we had let this dry, and then what I did is I made a copy of the car. I have a scanner. I scanned it in, and then in Photoshop I enlarged this, so you'd have to enlarge it also. And then I cut the frame up and I put it to match the car that I have already colored in or painted in, and I traced with the graphite paper. So now I have my car. Now I'm going to mix some of my red, which was the Cad Red Deep, putting that out on my palette, and I am going to use a little bit of the Mars Black, and this is my Galleria, I don't know. And one thing that I missed here, and I have a number 6 brush. It's a social artworking brush. I want to get the rest of my steering wheel painted in there. Okay, now we're going to mix a little bit of Mars Black into my red and put it out onto my onto my palette. So this is my Galleria. So I'm just going to take a little bit right now and mix it into my red, and you'll get like a nice dark red, if you can see that. And I'm going to mix some of my gloss in there as well, so it's easier to paint on. So you kind of get sort of like a brownish red. I think I want it a little darker though, because this has to be pretty dark, but it has to be a red, a dark red. Okay, so now this is what I'm going to paint in with my number 6. Right around the headlight. And I think I need a little darker. I want this a little darker. If you have to add water to this, by all means, do so. It's a little harder to paint on wood because the surface isn't as smooth as a canvas. So you just take your time. We're going around the headlights here. Get your glazing liquid. Just paint in here like that. Okay. Make sure that you get all around these areas here. Okay, we're also going to paint in here, but let me get all this in first. I think we're going to be using a little bit more black for some of these other areas, so we just want to make sure we get this in here first. Oops. And I am going to spritz some water in there because I want this kind of wet. It needs to be able to move smoothly onto the wood here. Take your time. Just take your time. Make it neat as possible. As neat as possible. Take your time in doing this. And make sure you get it all decently put in. A couple spots I'm going to have to go over there with some red. It looks pretty cool so far. Okay. Time for a little swig of coffee. That always helps. I'm going to put a little bit more water, spritz a little bit more water into my paint here. And I'm going to wipe off my brush. I want to clean it a bit and just get those little pieces of red area there that I want to redo before I use all my red up. This is supposed to be more rounded. Okay, and let's see. I think that's it for that. Okay. Okay. Right here, I need to have a little bit more of an edge. Oh yeah, I see that too. Okay. I see another piece. Sometimes you just have to tap it in because of the way it is. Right here. This will probably dry a little darker. Let's see, where else here do I need a little bit more? The red, red, black, black, red. Let's come around and over like here. Okay, and let's continue. Continue. And there's like this little teeny weeny space right in here. Sometimes you miss these on the drawing, but it just helps there. Okay. Alright, and then there's this part also. Right here, I think is another spot here. I think that this, I don't know, But anyways, I'm just going to continue here. There's a little, spot that's kind of like empty right here. It goes to that point. Then you have that little bit of a space, which is right here for this one. Bring it on down. Put this in. Do your best to fill that in, because like it is, I make this a little redder here. Down to here. All right, and we've got like this nice big stripe here, so we got to get that filled in. We got this one. Okay. Okay, there's a stripe that goes right here. And then this one. If you make that paint wet enough, it does work a lot easier when you're painting on the wood surface. Kind of just goes into all the little crevices that are in the wood. All right, let's see here. So got this little piece right here, comes around. And it goes all the way around this here. Okay. There's this little piece that comes around. Okay. Goes right to there. All right, so far so good. Now we're just going to use plain old black, and we're going to paint other areas here that are a little darker. So we're going to do that now. Let's see, just pure black, Moore's black. We're going to paint inside this. And if you find that this number 6 or whatever size that you're comfortable with is best to paint this, if you're having a hard time, you can use a little round brush to get into all the little crevices that because sometimes the brush is just too big to handle for you. And you have to be comfortable doing this. You know, you want to make it easy on you. And that's all we're trying to do, is just make the painting easy and enjoyable. Okay. Let's see where else we need to paint black in here. Okay, now watch, because some of this is still wet. You don't want to like smear up your work. Now I'm finding that this needs to be a little wetter. So I'm just spritzing it a little bit because I want to get it into the areas here that, and if it's wet enough, it'll just go right into those little crevices in the wood. All right. We're going to paint this part here black. This is just pure black, nothing mixed into it. Okay. I'll rinse that out because I want to put a little bit more red right here. Just kind of keep that like that. And if you notice, you can see that this starts to turn a little darker. Okay. Going back into my black. Kind of getting up there where it needs to be a little bit more crisp. Okay. Under here, well, there's you got to paint a little line here, right here. kind of comes right here. Okay, and right underneath this, right here, this is going to be black. Want to get this out of here because that shouldn't be there, and I have to paint over that now. That should not be there. And let's see, right under here it's a shadow. Rinsing this out. I'm going to come back to this actually. Ooh, that's not good. Let's try to get some of that paint spread in there. A little bit easier there, nicer. It's just the shadow from the car. Going into my red just to kind of fill that right there. Okay. And then I see another spot that I need to get here. And I believe that black is right up against this, so this is all shadowy. This is all in the shadows. So right in where this wood separates, I'm going to just paint that black there too, because part of that is all the shadow from the car. All shadow. All right. Now there's some shadow underneath here also of the car. So we have shadow that comes on around here. And it comes up. Like that. And then we have shadow in through here. That's all shadow from the vehicle. All shadow. Okay, now I want to just rinse my brush up because there is some area here that needs to be cleaned up. And I'm going to clean it up with my red. And I probably will have to do this again because of the black. So we'll wait for that to dry a little bit. Oh, I must have gone into some of my silvery stuff here. All right. Let's get that cleaned up. Okay. grab my red, make a nice line here. It's going to come down and it'll be better also. Now, there's some black that comes around here. Let's see. I think this is it. Up in here. Let's see here now. There's some black. I have to just, I think it's this one here. Oh dear. I think this is it here. It's hard to tell which line's what. It's kind of weird. And this comes down. And it just kind of meets this like that. Sometimes DecoArt, I love them to death, but their paintings can be, their tracings can be a little difficult to understand. So you have to be very careful when you're doing this. Okay, I'm going to rinse out my brush. Try to get that red in there where it needs to be, right here. Still a bit dark. Okay, kind of clean up some of this. Okay. All right, so that's that part. Let's see here now, what's next? All right, so we're going to mix a little bit of a gray. We're going to put some gray. So I'm going to get some of my white, my titanium white. It can be, well, it can be this one here, acrylic titanium white, and I'm going to mix some of my black with that to make a nice gray, silver gray. All right, let's see here. Grab my white. Kind of just gray it down. You should have something like this, pretty light. And we're gonna make this. Oh, that's a little too light. Need to make it a little darker. You want this to show up as gray. And we're going on a dark background, so we don't want it to look white. This is much better here. Okay. Let's see. I'm still using that number 6 brush. Okay. We're going to be going over that again. Okay. Probably need to make that just a tad darker, I think. Looks like it's pretty gray on this picture here that I'm using. Let's make that a little, well, yeah, that's better. Much better. Okay, get some water in that so it makes it a little easier to spread. We'll have some cleanup to do here. All right. We have a little bit of that on the bumper. All right. Okay. Yeah, we got some cleaning up to do with this thing. Okay. Mixing up some more of that gray. Darker gray. Not dark enough. When you put it against a dark shade, you can tell that it's just not dark enough. You don't want it to look white. I actually would like to see this a little darker. Not black, but a nice dark gray. I'm just going right into my black because I got it on the palette, I mean on the canvas or the wood, and I can just blend that in there to make it a little bit darker. Okay, I'm going to rinse that out, and I'm going into my black, just straight black. Kind of getting rid of that. Making this line a little bit more precise. Okay, and actually it should be in here, but there we go. Okay, now I want to get that right here because it has to match the other part here. Can get that a little darker. Match this over here. Okay, I have to get that grayed also, so we're going to go into our dark gray. Excuse me. Okay, so we got these in here. I gotta get the tires. They need to be grayed out. So we're gonna go around here, make these a little darker gray. How's this looking so far? Looks pretty good, I think. I like it. Looks like a car, right? Looks just like a car. if you let some of the red show through, that kind of makes it look nice too. You know, you get some of those red highlights in there. Okay, let me see here. Okay. Right here. It's also part of the tire. So, come over to meet this. Okay. Oh, we gotta fix that too. It's kind of sometimes hard to paint on wood, but we can always fix anything up. That's for sure. Always. Right here, make this darker. Wipe my brush. Okay, going into my black. I don't know how this is gonna go here, but right here is part of the tire, so we got to get that nice and dark. I think that's part red. That comes over this. And then this is part of the tire. And we'll have to make that a little darker here. Well, maybe just this part here. Just that part. Now, rinsing out my brush, because as I'm looking at this, there's a lot going on here that I have missed. This is supposed to just go over here. Okay, I've got some kind of a message somewhere, I guess. I don't know where to put my thumb, but I will be right back. Okay, now I'm still working this dark gray here. I'm going to get a little bit more mixed here. And that's just white and Mars black or ivory. What is it? Mars black. Just try to get in these areas where I left it too light. And let's see. Oops, gotta fill that in again. Yeah, if you make a mistake on this board, it's kind of obvious, so you have to just keep going over things if you see that it's not behaving the way you want it to. Okay, we're going to do the steering wheel here. And I'm just using my number 2 flat for this. Just to fill in the steering wheel, we're going to fill in this little spot here. You might need to add a little bit of the glazing liquid into this because it is a little dry, so you want to kind of have it wet going on, a little wetter. Wasn't sure if I had the record going on or not, but I'm doing good. All right, so then we're going to get into the back here. This here part of the wheel, we got to get some of that gray right here. And around the wheel right here. I've been watching some YouTube videos myself, and I found this one that I really enjoy her. Her name is Tamara Laporte, and she definitely has some issues with arthritis, which is sad. Her hands are a little bit messed up from the arthritis, but I'll tell you what, she can paint like there's no tomorrow. Tamara. She's very good, and I have enjoyed so much watching her, and she's just very, very interesting. She works on people's issues, like you know, like if you've ever felt unloved. And I'm sure there's many people that have felt that way growing up, didn't fit in to the surroundings and stuff. And I'll tell you, she's just a real pleasure. She's so cute. So if you get a chance, watch her, Tamara Laporte. She does a lot of journaling, and it's just really nice. I enjoy her. Her artwork is so cute. She just makes these little whimsical characters, and they're adorable. They're adorable. And this is black right in here. This comes down. So it's shadow. I've got to get more gray in here. More black. This just kind of melts into the shadow. You can leave some of that red show through. I mean, that kind of gives it a little bit of a you know that you have your underpainting there. This. It's all dark in here. Excuse me. Okay, let's see here. Grab a little white. I'm gonna kind of go around some of this here. And now, let's see. We're going to paint some highlights with some of the titanium white. And it's just going to be straight titanium white. Now there's this part here which I'm a little confused with, but I think what this is a highlight also, and this gets like painted real light. Like that. Just kind of work that into that. And make some of this a little bit bigger here. Some of the wheel. We're going to put some highlights in places here. In the headlights, we're going to put some highlights. And just around this, like that. We're going to put some highlight on the front part here. Now if you wanted, you could probably use your silver paint too that we added in the background. That would probably really spark this up a bit. It would make it really look like some real silvery. Add some of this to the top of the grill here. Just lightly go over that. And put some down in here. I'm going to rinse out my brush because I'm picking up a little bit of gray, and I don't want that. I want pure white. Okay, this grill, this has a little bit of, I'm going to pick up some of my glazing liquid into my white because I just want to make sure that I get this on smoothly. Excuse me. This is going to be light here. That goes all the way down. And then there's like a little highlight that comes off of this, like that. There's a highlight on this. Comes all the way down, like that. This is what starts to make your vehicle look a little bit more like it's got some highlights. And it's dimensional. That comes all the way down here like that. And there's one comes from the back of this. And hits right there. And we're going to make this a little bit brighter. This one a bit brighter. And in here, we're going to just kind of like highlight that a little bit more. Now, up here, we want this to look like this is a glass. So we're going to like put a highlight right here and here. Okay. You could put one there too if you want. And I think that makes the painting. That's it. I mean, we can go over some of these areas to make them look a little bit brighter if you'd like. Like here, this kind of like faded right into the paint. I'm sorry that I'm kind of hoarse. That's probably because I'm drinking this coffee. That happens. Okay, we got these. We got this. Boy, I think that looks pretty nice. I'll just kind of make that a little bit. Just kind of dry brushing on top of it. But I think you guys will like this. I think that you can give this as a present, maybe for Father's Day even, with that coming up in June. Make a nice little gift. This. I think I want to just highlight back here a little bit too, because this is kind of like a nice gold, silvery color. This comes down. Highlight back there. Little highlights into the headlights here. Yeah, I like it. What do you guys think? I hope you guys like this too. Now, hopefully you can get this painting done and you won't have too much trouble with it. You just got to be careful when you sand down your wood that you don't sand down to the actual wood, because this is already stained. I bought that pre-stained. Excuse me. And I'd like to see some of your work. So I hope that you like. Make sure you put those thumbs up. We need those on the site. That helps me. And, you know, like and subscribe if this is your first time here. I'd like to see that you enjoy my work. There we go. Kind of looks a little strange right there, so I'm trying to fix that. A little bit more gray I think we need right here. Oh, that's a little black, but you can touch these things up as you see fit. And if you really like to see me continue these lessons, help me on Patreon, because that'll give me more supplies. You know how art can be expensive. It's not one of the cheaper hobbies, that's for sure. But I do love doing this, and I love teaching you, and I want to continue. So, by all means, let me know how you're doing. And I guess that's it for now. So, thanks for standing by and watching me paint this, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.